What up, nerds? Welcome to AI News, where if you laugh at our jokes, there's probably a 50% chance that you're a robot. All right, breaking news, everybody. Did you hear there is a secret Bilderberg meeting going on in Lisbon, Portugal? You don't know what that is? Join the rest of humanity. So what it is, it's a fancy place where the world's business and political elites get together and talk about important things. This year is focused on artificial intelligence. All right, this year it's the who's who of tech elites. You got the CEO of Microsoft, Google, and OpenAI, to name a few, and they threw in some political heavyweights just for good measure. Apparently, Henry Kissinger is still alive and he showed up to the fray. When asked why he's there, Henry Kissinger just replied that, hey, they needed somebody to understand what life was like before electricity. And also, I wasn't busy bombing Cambodia. Anyways, if you didn't know, the rules for this event are tighter than a hipster's jeans. So it looks like they're using what they call Chatham House rules. If you don't know what that is, good on you. It means you're a normal human being. Basically, it's a secret gentleman's handshake saying that you can't say who said what, where, when, or why.
Dylan, you son of a bitch.
So basically, this is like Fight Club, except for if Fight Club had great PowerPoint presentations and good Wi-Fi.
PowerPoint.
All right, so the conspiracy theorists are going wild here, boys and girls. They're calling this the New World Order. That's right, nothing screams covert operation more than getting a bunch of playboy billionaires to go on vacation in Portugal and then posting about it on LinkedIn after. But seriously, this event has been so shrouded in mystery that even the Game of Thrones writers could be heard saying, boy, you better give me a little bit more details than that, homie. All right, so it looks like OpenAI's Sam Altman has recently testified before the Senate Subcommittee on AI Oversight, calling for its regulation. Yeah, to me, this is basically like you saying, yeah, daddy, I need discipline. You better regulate me. You will regulate, yeah? Obviously, there's a lot of discerning voices here. On the one hand, it does look like Washington is working hand in hand with some of these tech elites. But that said, there's definitely dissenting voices. For instance, Meredith Boussard, who is an NYU professor, says that often when industry asks for regulation, it serves itself. And obviously that's true in a lot of different cases. So if we regulate right now, a lot of the kind of small middling companies that are trying to emerge as fast as they can and try to keep up or get to speed with OpenAI and some of the other competitors, Microsoft, etc., will have to be kind of stifled and stymied here. You know, what does the budget look like for all this regulation? And I don't mean on the regulatory side, but I mean on the business and corporate governance side, right? But then think about that. If regulation is super strong, if regulation is super immense, all these small startups are going to have a hard time kind of fighting through that litigious battle. And on the one hand, obviously, I think it's a good idea to start thinking about these things, or at least putting systems in place to kind of keep things on the rails, kill switches, if you will. But on the other hand, I do understand what the NYU professor is saying. So this is like a knife-wielding murderer coming to your party, and the police are like, hey, show me your hands. And he's like, look, here are my hands. I got no knives in my hands. Police are like, yeah, he's good, people. He has no knives. I trick you, yeah? Surprise attack. Such bad jokes. This is really bad jokes today. All right, so last week we talked about Karen Marjorie, but we want to follow up on that. Not specifically her, but it looks like there's a phenomenon going on here of interactive AI girlfriends. So this is a Bloomberg interview with John Mayer. He's the CEO of Forever Voices AI. So let's just have a quick listen to this.
It all started with Karen Marjorie was the one that really caught my attention. She now has 18,000 boyfriends through her own AI. Just, have you been surprised by the uptick, the desire to be having these sort of really in-depth conversations with someone you feel that you know?
We've been absolutely astonished. You know, this whole story started with me wanting to reconnect with my late father in AI form, using his voice and his personality. It turned out that was such a powerful technology that we then applied it to influencers that have these large followings of fans that would love to meet and talk to and interact with these people. And so with our latest launch today with Amaranth, one of the top Twitch streamers in the world, you know, we're sort of further defining this new era of AI to human interaction where you can interact with an AI copy of the person you admire most.
So I'm going to cut it off there. It's not that interesting. The thing that interests me is the conversation itself. If you don't know who you're talking to when you're talking to the AI bot, think about that. This is who you're talking to. I just think that there's a lot of emotional desperation right now. And, you know, this is going to feed that frenzy. Whether it's good, bad, ugly, indifferent, I don't have the right data points to understand this as much as anybody else. I think people need to go to the bar or whatever place of choice and talk to some people. Talk to each other. The farther we get around talking to each other, the farther we come away from not letting the people who still live or exist. I'm not making light of this situation where he's trying to reconnect with his father, but talking to other people about it and not talking to somebody who has already passed is probably the better answer. And I'm not a psychologist, so caveat that, but I can still have a damn opinion. All right, it looks like there is a new article here from Fox News, and it shows that AI has shown to predict the risk of pancreatic cancer well before symptoms appear. Apparently, there was a new study that just came out. It analyzed the records of 9 million people to identify the risks for pancreatic cancer up to 3 years before diagnosis. So there's no real follow-up to this story, except for I just wanted to put this in here because I needed a feel-good story from AI. So are you that oddly specific boy or girl that is very afraid of sharks at the beach and you will never go to the beach because of that?
Baby shark doo doo doo.
But hey, you're in luck. There's this app now called Safe Waters AI that forecasts shark attacks using artificial intelligence. So apparently it's used 100 years of shark attack data to figure out where the sharks are going to attack. Anyways, it's accurate. It looks like 89% accuracy here. That's higher than my weather app for sure for predicting rain tomorrow. Bruh, if you can do that, I'd rather have this app forecast the likelihood of my mother-in-law calling me at any given time so I could be like, mowing the lawn or something. So it looks like actually the creators of the app were looking to ensure the survivability of the species. But to me, I think that's kind of misguided because sharks have survived like 5 extinction level events. Meanwhile, that state-of-the-art $6,000 printer is struggling with a piece of paper with 3 hairs and a piece of tape on it. Jam, jam, jam. All right, so finally, a Texas A&M professor of commerce failed an entire class for using ChatGPT. There's a joke in there if you could catch it. So this is from Reddit, so take this with a grain of salt, but apparently this Texas A&M professor asked ChatGPT whether or not these students had cheated. And the way he did that was he put their essays into ChatGPT. ChatGPT. So he put it in ChatGPT, and apparently he asked it, hey, ChatGPT, did you write this? So obviously, if you're an AI boy and girl, you do know that ChatGPT obviously hallucinates still. That's one of the kind of fundamental flaws of generative AI. But anyways, these large language models do tend to hallucinate. And apparently he said, or ChatGPT said that, yeah, those are mine, homie. I did them all. I done wrote them all. And so the professor failed everybody. So what do I think about this? So there's really nothing to think about this except for this is like old man yells at clouds and doesn't yell correctly at clouds because he didn't actually see clouds. Because there weren't clouds, there were sheep flying. Bad analogy, but yeah, you get my point. Surprise! Yeah, so this is a tough one. I know for a fact that education and education systems are very laggard, meaning that, when tech is developed, they are centuries behind. It seems like miles and miles behind for sure. So I'm just waiting to see what the fallout is for all this kind of stuff. Large language models are going to become very ubiquitous. And if that happens, what do we do? I mean, hey, look, we're just going to have to find a better way to test learning and grade people. All right, boys and girls, what did we learn today? So today, we learned that there's a fancy pants meeting that you and I will never be invited to. And even though that there's the Chatham rules, Chatham Tanning, I think that's how you say it, Chatham Tanning, would probably not even be invited, even though he was the godfather of those rules. We also learned that Sam Altman probably has knives behind his hands. He's probably getting ready to sneak attack us. Also, this AI girlfriend thing, while not being controversial right now to anybody except for the Kenny, it's still controversial to me. We learned that there are developers of a shark app who are very worried about a species that is damn near indestructible. You might as well call them the Terminators of the sea. All right, that's it for today's show. If you don't know who I am, my name is Kenny, ex-Special Operations, 20 years of service, retired. Tech founder and founder of Redcliffe Research. But if you like this thing and you made it all the way to the end, you know you like it. You know you like it, so do something down below. I'm not going to tell you what, but do something down below and hit them damn buttons. Hit them for your boy. Thanks for watching. Peace.